Hello everyone. I have to apologize for being a little late. We've had some technical difficulties here, and I promised I would come on and talk about um, abuse. And I don't know if anyone is listening. Um, so anyway, I'm going to record it and then I'll put it up afterwards. So if you've missed it, I'm sorry about that. If you happen to be catching it now, please do come online, and if you have questions, you can put them in the box. So, and ask me a question. And I appreciate anyone who's going to come on and share and tell anyone that I'm here for now. So let's talk about being abused. And the first thing I know that everyone will talk about is, my father hit me, or my brother hit me, or somebody took my body when they shouldn't have done and abused me. For example, when I was coming home from watching a movie, I was cutting through the park with my friends, and these boys jumped up and shone lights in our eyes. And the next thing I know, I've got 4 boys trying to get their way with me. Well, boy, did I kick and fight, and I'd done everything I was told not to do, which was by my parents, don't go through the park. So when I got home, I was like, and trying to pretend nothing had happened. And I walked down looking very civil into the living room, and my parents looked so shocked. And it wasn't till I looked down at myself that I saw how much my clothes were ripped, etc. Happy to say I got away. Unhappy to say they never found the boys. But this is generally what people think is abuse, is when men are in some way attacking women and taking them for sex, or hitting them and beating them up because the women are saying no to the men, and so on. So what I wanted to do today is to talk about how we abuse ourselves. So if I go back to my little story about me nipping through the park as a shortcut in the twilight, you can see I set myself up to be abused. I didn't pay attention to my inner instinct that said I shouldn't go through that. I should walk around the long way. And so what I want to talk about more is how we think and how we feel about ourselves in the way that we actually do things. Okay, so I'm going to start some very, very simple things. Like, for example, you're in school, you're in first grade, you're learning your ABC and 1, 2, 3, and the teacher looks at you and says, your A isn't straight. And you look across at your friend's A, which looks better than your A, and you tell yourself, I can't draw. I'm no good. And the teacher says, try again, and you try again, and you end up with a better A. But do you really write the best A that you can possibly write? Do you tell yourself, I did a good A, or do you stand there and say, well, I had a go, wasn't very good? Do you realize that when you talk to yourself like that, you are abusing your creativity? You are abusing your sense of self. Now, in the first 5 years of our life, we are walking around in hypnosis. We have over 200 million billion cells in our brains so that we can learn very quickly. And by the time we're 2 years old, we've lost half of them. So I want you to just think how many thoughts you were learning to make. You were learning to know words. You were learning to watch people. So let's talk a little bit about body language now. Let's say you went to kindergarten and you got a doll or a truck, depending on what sex you are, and you're playing quietly with it, enjoying yourself, and along comes another kid who pushes you over, picks up the toy, and you go to get it back. Next thing you know, there's a little scrap and scratch and whatever's going on. Teacher's coming, you're all crying. What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself, nobody loves me? Nobody cares about me, based on this one child that's tried to take your story, tried to take your toy rather, and has twisted your story in your mind to make you believe yet again that you're not strong enough, you're not tall enough, you're not wise enough, you don't know anything, okay? Every time you talk to yourself that way, what you're actually doing is abusing yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Let's talk about body language, okay? Do you sit like this, huddled up? That's saying, I don't trust anyone. I don't believe anything. Okay, I'm cold because I'm not opening up my body and I'm not sharing myself. Now, if you're not opening up your body and you're not sharing yourself, you're abusing your talents, your skills. You're locking them up. You're hiding them. You've put handcuffs on yourself and you're saying, I'm not good enough. Now, let's talk about something else that I noticed with one of my children. I was teaching him how to tie his shoelaces up. I was my firstborn child, so I was teaching him as a right-handed person. He couldn't do it. He kept getting frustrated and in the end, I let him use his left hand and he learned to do it. So here's another thing. Are you a lefty or a right? I use both my hands. I'm ambidextrous. So if I'm painting a wall, I'm doing it here, and when I get fed up, change over the brush, do it with the other hand. We've all learned to use both our hands, but are you really using your right hand when you want to be left-handed? And how is that affecting your brain? Because believe it or not, that will tell you I can't do things as well as I should do because I'm trained to be right-handed when I'm really left-handed. How many of you listening now and watching, send me a little heart or something that you're a lefty, okay? Because lefties always see things in the reverse. There's somebody sending me something, that's good. Now, when we're left, we see in reverse, we notice more things intellectually. When we're more right-handed, we notice things more physically. So coming back to the early years, if you were the intellectual type of child that liked to say, well, why? Well, when? Well, where? Well, how? And what's the point? Okay, you're questioning your environment. And while you're so busy questioning everything, you're not listening. And if you're not listening, you're not hearing whatever someone's trying to explain to you. Why, when, how, where, and why. And so you miss that information. And the next thing you know, everybody's off out to play, doing something. They all know when, where, and why. And you're standing there going, what do? I don't know. I must be an idiot. I can't be any good at sports. I can't play skipping rope, whatever it is. And so in some way, I tell myself, I'm not clever. I'm not good at sports. I'm not good at painting, drawing, writing, doing my letters. It goes on and on. So by the time you're 5, your self-esteem is down. You've told yourself, you've taught yourself by observation, by comparing yourself with other people, that you are not as good as anyone else. And you believe that. You believe it. Now, another thing to understand is that when you're in the first 5 years of your life, because you have so many cells going on in your body, what you don't realize is that you are teaching from the brain to every muscle in your face. So let me show a few here. I can't do it. I don't know what to do. I'm miserable. Okay. We do that as we grow up over and over again, and we do not see our face in the mirror. Okay. We don't realize that we've got a crying face. Now, that may not mean you're crying, but look at my face. I'm just going to go, ugh. Look at all my lines and things coming on. They become habit lines. And over the years, we get more and more of them. Whereas we do smiley face, we got different lines, right? So, your body is controlled by your brain that marks your face. Now, when you go out into the world and you meet people at school, you are going to be reading their face, and you are going to be comparing their expressions with your siblings, with your mom and dad, with your granny and grandpas, and anyone else that's in your family environment. And you will make a decision based on what you've seen in those first 5 years to tell yourself that anyone in your future that is similar in appearance to the people you loved, you will trust them. Now, on the other side of the fence, to the people that you didn't like the kid that took your toy in kindergarten, you will have noticed their face, you will have noticed their expression, the shapes of their nose, the looks in their eyes, the color of their hair, and you will have told yourself, I don't like that person, and I never will. And then you go out into the world to meet new kids in school. You've never met them before. You take one look at them and you say, I don't like that person. I'm not going to talk to them. Now, they may come up to you and try and be friendly and show you a nice face, but you're running this message in here that is saying, under 5 years old, I made up my mind that I don't like this kind of person because they remind me too much of what happened as a child. Okay? I hope you're all following me. Anyone disagree with me? Let me know. Send me a little something up. Okay? Now, the next thing that I want you to be aware of is that once you get into your school life, you've got teachers. And those teachers, hopefully they're very nice to you, but hey, I didn't have nice teachers. Mine were always saying, Margaret, you have to try harder. Every school report I ever had, it said, Margaret must try harder. Year in, year out. And here I am, nearly 76, and I'm still trying harder. I want you to understand that no matter how much we try and erase those first 5 years, we don't. We add on them. Oh, Mrs. Bloggins up the road, she was nasty to me when I was 10. Oh, and Tom Jones up the road, who was doing something or other with my bike, he went and rode off on my bike and left me all behind. I don't like him. And we pile all these faces, all these looks, body experiences. How do you walk? Do you hold your head high, or do you lean over when you walk? I saw a woman in Japan, I can't show you here, but I can show you with my hand, that her body was stuck in that position. And so she walked across the road like this. Oh boy, did I want to go up to her and say, "Can I straighten you out?" But I knew I couldn't, because up her spine is all the memories of all the times that she has had to bend to someone else's will. Hear that? Bend to somebody else's will. So back to school. You're in school. The teacher's in charge. She's telling you you have to do your homework. You have to do things at a certain time, in a certain way, for a certain reason. And you get home, maybe you couldn't do it because mum and dad's got something going on, or one of your siblings is playing up, who knows. You go back to school and you get the ugly face. Why didn't you do your homework? Blah, blah, blah. But please, Mom, I blah, blah. Shut up, be quiet. You don't listen. Do what I tell you. You're always making mistakes. More stuff, shall we say, that you're taking in. And you're looking at all the other kids. Maybe they've all got A's and you got a C. And once again, you tell yourself, I'm not clever. I'm not good enough. While you're doing that, you're in hypnosis. Your eyes open. I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid. Okay? That gives a direct message right into your deep subconscious. She's afraid. Give her a connection to an archangel or a Santa Claus or a spirit teacher or something. And we get a message or a dream in our head, and we get a feeling, maybe I should not worry so much about that teacher, or maybe I should just try and apply myself to my homework, never mind what's going on at home. But you can't undo all that. It's happened. It's history. But what you can undo is what you've learned. Because you have the right to be anything you want to be. God did not make you to be the puppet that someone else is pulling the strings. Okay? Nor are you the puppeteer that can pull your kid strings or anyone else. You have to realize that each of us sees through our brain, through our eyes, speaks through our mouth, uses our body like I'm doing right now to express ourselves. We develop these abilities by copying other people. Okay? What if I said to you, I want you to take The Sound of Music and sing that like a rocker? What would you say? Oh my God, I haven't a clue what a rocker sounds like. Or, oh my God, I wouldn't want to ruin that lovely song. Or could you do it? Could you meet the challenge and turn that song into something that you own, that is yours? Now, that's an extreme example, isn't it? But there are 101 things that you probably have done over the years where you could say to yourself very easily, I want to change. I'm sure all of you have said that at some time. I don't like myself being this way. I want to change. But you're up against your own worst enemy, this brain, this conscious mind right here. It's saying, I've always done it this way. It doesn't matter if I haven't been happy. This is the only way I know how to do it. And if I don't do it this way, I give up. I'm not going to bother. I don't want to learn any more new stuff. Why? Because I'm going to have a new teacher. They may not like me. They may tell me in some way that I'm screwing up again, failing again. Okay? Want to go to school again now? Shall I go to school at 76 and learn something new? I think I have to soon. I've got to learn how to use Zoom so I can teach everyone online. Here I am using Facebook, and I'm learning how to do that. My generation didn't have computers. I had to teach myself everything. Did I get frustrated? Yes. Would you get frustrated when you change yourself? Yes. Frustration comes from the mind. The mind is saying, I can, but I can't. I want to, but I won't. Okay? Do you realize you are abusing yourself when you do that? You are abusing every part of your body. You are saying to your body, don't get up, don't walk, don't you dare move, don't you dare breathe. You know, we all breathe from here when we're in panic. We all hold our breath when we're caught in the core of a moment. What do I do? Okay? Those kinds of things you need to realize are excuses. They're your way to say, I know I should change, but I don't want to. I don't want to change because I'm scared of that change, because if I change, all these people that I've copied for so long, they won't know me anymore, and they won't like me anymore. And then I'm all on my own. And if I'm all on my own, I've got no friends. And if I've got no friends, then what? Well, it's no different from when you went to school years ago. Going to school, first day in school, I've been told what's going to happen, but not till I walk down that corridor, see those children, see the teachers, listen to the noise, get whatever I need to get out of that day, go home, and then talk about it and tell Mum, oh, the kids were so loud, they kept screaming. I hate screaming. Well, do you realize you've been screaming yourself sometime through your life? Probably Mum hated you screaming. Do you scream today when you get angry? Do you yell at your kids? Do you yell at your hubby or your sweetheart, whichever sex you are? Are you in a gay or a straight marriage? Are you abusing yourself in that relationship with your friend by insisting that you know everything and they know nothing? And then find out afterwards that you were wrong and they were right? I got to admit, that happens for me. I'm not always right, even though I'm very psychic and I can read people all over the place, even in the other world. I mean, spirit world. By the way, I'm going to be in California in July, and I'm going to be doing a psychic night where I'm going